I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And on this week, where everybody in America is giving thanks, except for the Native Americans and the black people whose ancestors were brought here as slaves, and, you know, any other marginalized group that doesn't have a thick streak of white Puritanism running through their lineage. Most of the people whose families burned witches, by the way, are thankful today. What do we have to be thankful for? Well, we just elected a convicted tax cheat criminal rapist whose best friend was a pedophile, and he has said he wants to date his daughter.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
He also managed the pandemic so bad 1 million died. And we thought, everybody makes mistakes. Let's give him another shot. I mean, it's just the most powerful country in the world. What could happen? Good game, idiots. However, the dude that bailed us out from the worst time in 100 years in America had just one bad debate.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
And even the people on his side attacked him. Democrats. George Clooney.
By the way, for 36 years, each year they list the poorest man in Congress. Oh, I'm not joking. 36 years I was listening, House and Senate, the poorest man in Congress. Never thought myself poor, but I guess came from a typical middle-class family. They're breaking your neck. My dad used to have an expression, say, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. A job's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being treated with respect. It's about being able to look people in the eye.
You blew it. You're weak. You're not wrong, but you're weak. Democrats.
Pelosi reportedly told Biden that she and other Democratic lawmakers worry he's dragging down the party. She also warned him that criticism will grow louder within the party and urged him to make a decision about stepping down soon.
You threw a great man under the bus and then used that bus to run over yourselves.
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
So today, I'm thankful for the 4 years of rest and normalcy we got from this man, Joseph Robinette Biden. Thank you, Joe. You took over at the height of the worst pandemic in 100 years. Next thing we know, we're all getting vaccinated and the daily death toll from COVID dropped from 5,000 people a day to 81 today. Thank you, Joe. When Joe took over, the supply chain was broken and stores were empty. Joe and Mayor Pete turned the whole thing around. Stores are full and inflation has dropped to the same levels during the burnt umber fat man. Thank you, Joe. And you know what else? 50 states got infrastructure money. Bridges and roads and pipes and all infrastructure is getting fixed. So this Thanksgiving, when Uncle Too Much Turkey tries to destroy the guest bathroom with a bowel that unleashes the trumpets of Gomorrah, know that toilet flush because of Joe Biden. But you can also blame Joe for the roads being so good. Everybody made it to the house. Yeah, thanks, Joe. You know, when you see your 23-year-old nephew with a new car and no college debt, thank Joe. You can also thank Joe for your grandma and grandpa getting cheap medication. They were here for another Thanksgiving. Thanks, Joe. For new chip plants being built and the stock market hitting 44,000. Yeah, during the last guy, it dropped to 19,000. Thank you, Joe. For killing Al-Qaeda terrorist Ayman al-Zawahiri. For getting us $1,400 during COVID to help get through it all. For keeping unemployment at historical lows, and the Inflation Reduction Act, which actually reduced inflation. But most of all, Pop, thank you for always being a decent man, for having a great relationship with an amazing woman. Where is Melania? For running for president in the face of a son who had died, for running when you didn't want to, and then doing the job with such professionalism and grace. And then for stepping down when the jackals of the Democratic Party smelled blood. On this Thanksgiving, I am thankful for a leader that did his job well and did it with class, grace, and with no toilet paper on his shoe. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, it's going to be the last one we have. Holy God. Now what? I'm just waiting. You know why it's so quiet? We're all waiting for the crap to hit the fan. And we know it's gonna.
This Christmas, gather round and feel better about your family, while Christopher Titus slanders his.
This is the darkest show I've ever written. I want you to know that up front. I am not bragging, I am warning you.
If you like Hallmark movies, you'll hate this.
There's a couple of bits in this show that will cause what I call hate clapping. You'll be like, that's well written, but goddamn.
Watch Christopher Titus's brand new comedy special, Carrying Monsters, streaming Christmas Eve. Pre-order now at ChristopherTitus.com.
Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. We are here today. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Rachel is cooking food, so she is not here today. We do have a guest coming up, but with me as always, the beautiful, the amazing Highlander.
Oh, this is a special day for me. There could be only one. I feel so.
We have a great guest going to be on this week, a guy who's really into politics, very funny comedian, actor, director. Michael Ian Black is going to be here. But let's talk about what's going on right now. We are in a place now where Trump is saying, first of all, let's talk about what happened. We just got back from the road. We did Idaho. Idaho was cool. We had people that were, it's weird, man, because this new show, had Trump not won, this new show would have just been a romp through the Titus history back to the 1600s.
Right.
But and I talk about immigration,
like a great comedy special.
It wouldn't have had any weird, like now. And I named it "Doomed to Repeat" like 2 months before the election, because I knew there is no way our country is going to elect a guy that wants to date his daughter, basically bankrupt farmers with tariffs last time, screwed up the pandemic so bad 1 million died, and he's a moron. He can't speak. So I thought, there's no way.
Like again?
Well, maybe. So I'm trying to figure it out. I looked at the totals, and I was like, oh, he only won by 2.5 million votes, but 10 million Democrats didn't show up.
Right.
10 million.
Yeah.
I think they thought the same thing I thought.
Yeah.
I thought there's no way. They were like, you know, man, there's no way we're electing this moron. No way. I don't need to go. Why? Because who the fuck is voting for this idiot?
But then there's the other side of like, how is it possible that all these Democrats didn't show up? That's not. Come on.
See, all right. So here's
so I don't believe that one.
So we're going to talk a little bit about conspiracy theories. So I went and did some deep dive research on it. Here's the weirdest part about the conspiracy thing. Dino Abdallah, who's a guy I do his show all the time on Sirius Radio. They're very kind to let me on, and he wrote a letter basically saying that we need to get the investigation on this. There's no way this election went down. Mm-hmm. And Rachel always says this. Rachel goes, "We can't be them."
Yeah, of course.
She goes, "We can't be them."
Right.
So they went through all the stuff, and here's the thing. Here's where the conspiracy thing makes me laugh. So the Trump people are saying, this proves there was a conspiracy in 2020. It proves it. What? Wait, you guys
still going with conspiracy?
You fucking won. You fucking won. What are you? Shut up. What are you doing?
They're screaming conspiracy theory again. Whether they lose or they win,
but that's
there's
weird,
always a conspiracy theory.
Like you guys. So you're saying that when you were in charge of the election, when your administration basically was in charge of the election, that you cheated yourselves. Because your guy was in charge of it, and he said it was the safest election of all time. And then when Biden, the guy who hates your guts and doesn't want you to win, when he's in charge, they lose? How does it make any sense?
Oh, but it gets even better after that conspiracy theory.
How does it make any sense?
Then they came out with, Trump is really still running things. He and Biden swapped faces.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. That was awesome. Which means that Trump slept with Jill in the White House because Melania is not sleeping with him. And that means that so Biden. Well, it's weird because they also had to switch bodies too. Someone's wearing a fat suit, and it ain't the guy who's playing Biden.
So here's the great. So
someone's got like doing some serious penguin shit.
The Democrats, their conspiracy theory is these are the best ones. When there's a little kernel of truth, or when there's there's a pile of evidence that points to it. It's like, okay, that kind of seems like
the flat Earth thing. Yeah, there is ice wall. Yeah, but it's made out of ice, and on the other side is more round. It keeps going around.
Just go over it.
Right,
You'll see.
Right.
So, but the right, theirs are just fucking wet. JFK is coming back from the fucking dead.
Do you like that's what? But again, now we're back to why this guy got elected. So JFK's coming back from the dead. He's been gone the whole time. What else? There was another one. Someone else had died. QAnon.
JFK himself.
JFK Jr.
JFK Jr.
So the whole family's coming back. Basically, so they were supposed to be this Thanksgiving. They were all coming back and having another get together. What have they been doing? I mean, have they been hanging out on the other side of the ice wall? Is that just like, just stay here? Right? Nah. One day.
That's where he got lost with the plane.
One day we'll be back.
It's round.
So now, and the conspiracy theory is that supposedly 20 million votes disappeared in 2020. Also, the same 20 million disappeared this time, which is like, well, why would we elect the guy why would we cheat to get the guy in that fucked it up so bad last time? Mm-hmm. You know, when I did the Armageddon update, and I was talking about all the stuff that Biden did. And again, thank you, President Biden. I mean, like people don't understand what 50 years of ability in government gets you to do. I mean, I've never seen this much, but the Inflation Reduction Act actually reduced inflation.
Yeah.
Which, the CHIPS Act. And Trump's going to come in and just wipe it clean because he doesn't want... I don't understand this guy, man. He's the worst bully douchebag we ever, and people reelected him. I think people are in for some shit. We all are, but I mean,
it's already happening.
But we have a very, very thin thing where we got to go, yeah, told you. But that's all we get. We're still going to be in camps. We're still going to be, in trouble.
From behind bars, we're going to say, told you.
Yeah, told you it was going to happen. Well, we did. The first time we talked about how he was going to impose martial law, and he tried to. Mm-hmm. We basically said tariffs were going to ruin agriculture. They did. Yep. When the pandemic took over, I remember just thinking, oh no, how bad can this guy F this up? And we had no idea. We had no idea how awesome he could just F things up.
Here's another conspiracy theory that has a kernel of truth in that with the tariffs. So you can get a waiver. You can get like an exemption as a company here in the US from those tariffs. And the theory is that if you donate it to Trump, if you're a Trump loyalist, you'll get fast tracked on those exemptions. So the tariffs are really to prop up Trump's loyalists, right. whoever has a company.
Do you know, none of this surprises me. And the thing is, let's just be honest about the Democrats. The Democrats are pussies about this.
Oh God,
like I watched Hakeem Jeffries on Stephen Colbert last night. It was an interview from last week, and I just watched it, and because I wanted to see what they were going to say. And the Democrats couch everything in so much proper political bullshit, and they say the correct things the way they need to say it.
Yeah.
Because we are committed to the American public coming back in a way, because the American dream is the American dream. I want to be able to buy a house. I want to send my kids to college. I want to have a good job. I want to have a retirement so I don't have to work my whole life. That's the American dream. And I want to go, stop. We're so far past this bullshit. You're talking from 1985. Right now, Al Capone, dumb Al Capone, ignorant, stupid, like special class Al Capone is running the country now. You got to stop with the rules. And I think that we need to I think the Democrats need to get, someone did something recently and they were like, well, that's, out of the norms. I can't do that because it's out of the norms.
Like, hey.
We're so far.
Why would we play by these rules when they are not playing at all? There's no game.
I think they depend on it.
They do.
I think they depend on us.
They know that we're not going to investigate the votes, right? So they could just, if it's true, well, they know they could just go fucking crazy with the.
Well, also, like so all right, let's get ready for tin foil hat era. So we have this guy Elon Musk who's got satellites, 40-something thousand or more satellites circling the globe, connected to internet. He's got worldwide internet. He's got SpaceX. He's got all the technology in the world.
Absolute supervillain.
So, yes. It's like at one point I guess that's how we've now figured out how the Superman movies happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, and Lex Luthor was like, wow, this guy.
You're like, how did this guy become a supervillain? You're like, oh, he took a lot of time. He started a company, started building shit, and now he owns everything. So those satellites, let's say he could, I don't even know if this is true, but they're connected to the machines that count the votes, and so they can actually change the votes, and it's all possible. He even tweeted out something, anything can be hacked.
Right.
And why did all of a sudden Elon Musk in the last 4 months become part of it? And as I go down this road as a joke, because by the way, none of this is real, people. As I go down this road as a joke, I start to feel like sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
And you can see how the dopamine hit from I know something you don't know with no evidence whatsoever doesn't have any good thing for society or anything. So I think the Democrats just need to get ballsier. They just need to get ballsier and start going, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, they did. I mean, last week we had the border guy, and who else didn't show up? The head of the FBI they said we need to. The Republicans were like, we need to get you in and have an interview, and we're going to have you in front of the Congress. And they went, nah. And they were like, and as we know what happened, what did the Republicans do? This is outrageous.
Yeah,
you guys can't do this. You can't do it. As another guy's talking about sleeping with his daughter, his best friend was a pedophile, and he screwed up the country in 4 years like we've never seen, and ran up $7 trillion in debt. But they don't get mad about that. That's and I guess it's the same as it's always been. But where do we go? Like, what do we do?
How many times did the Republicans just refuse subpoenas? Wasn't
Jim Jordan just walked away. Yeah, Jim Jordan was like, nah, nope, nothing. And Merrick Garland was the worst fucking choice. Like,
God,
like I don't understand. I guess at the time we had a pandemic going on. We had 5,000 people a day dying, and we're stacking them. We were stacking bodies in trucks.
Yeah, but we had,
and maybe Biden was like, "Let's don't arrest Trump right now. Why? Maybe we should stop this." You know,
maybe
we're trying to vaccinate 260 million people, so maybe we should. But Biden had no.
But they could have set it up on the behind the scenes. We had plenty of evidence. Like everybody, us, newbies, we could see like, that's illegal. That's in the Constitution. There's a law for this, and then he just broke this law time and time again.
And he keeps doing it. And they just said today he finally signed the transition documents, but
he did. Okay,
but is it just criminal fatigue? This is just how shit is now because it's gone on for so long. I think we're just like, yeah, because no one goes like this. He did what? When Trump does something crazy, no one goes, why I am offended. They go, yeah, that's what he did.
We start rationalizing it. Well, maybe it's, this is a strategic.
Not even us. The national mainstream media rationalizes it. They keep talking about him like he's an actual guy with a plan.
Yeah.
And we've seen it.
Had they said what he was from the beginning, I don't think we'd be here. The 34 convicted felon.
But they start, but here's the thing. They said something recently, and I started to hear this once the election happened. You can't call those followers stupid. They voted for the guy they wanted to. And what they've done is it's all about ratings. I mean, television has pied off there's so many shows, so much stuff. And this audience hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So now you got, instead of 6 shows, which we have 600 shows, and the audience is so small now that they're doing all they can to hold on. MSNBC got their ass handed to them in the ratings.
Yep.
Got their ass handed to them. I'm at a loss, man. I don't even know what to do. We're having Michael Ian Black on in a couple minutes because I want to hear his take on it. I read his, you should go, I'll have him tell you, but I read his, he's a Substack, a blog. I am on an email list, and he's such a great writer, but he always kind of has his own take on it. And honestly, he's going to be on the podcast in a few minutes, and I'm excited because I don't know why he said yes. I really don't. But we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. And I don't know what we do regarding. See, the last time I knew to get serious and get angry and start doing the podcast like we did it, and Trump Camp. Remember Trump Camp? We did. Yep. Trump Camp was one of our first ones, and we did, and we went after it, and we keep getting people following us. And this time, I fucking stopped watching the news. I was like, nah, I want to listen to music.
I think we still need to fight the good fight, though. I feel like
up until we fall out of a window, Russia style, up until we got locked up. But as people always said, I get those comments all the time. Man, who's paying you guys to do this shit? I want to laugh. It's a podcast.
That's projection again.
Rinky dink. That's where that's like we literally don't have. Like, what are you talking about? Who pays you? The Biden administration paying you to put all this bullshit. First of all, it's not bullshit. We back it up with facts. And all the podcasts are getting paid by the Biden administration. we don't have a contact to Russia. We like all the right wing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The right wing has a whole ecosystem that is paid for.
They always say, they always accuse everybody else of doing what they're doing. I think it goes back to Hitler and Goebbels. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest, someone who's lowered their standards to be on our Rinky Dink podcast, and I just want to say thank you to him. Michael Ian Black. I love that he's kept his name Lone Gunman style. I hope you continue with that, the 3-name thing.
Always.
Yeah, but also he is writer for the Daily Beast. He was an actor on The State. He's a writer, director, actor. We were just talking about how I don't know what to do now. Like, by the way, marshmallows in sweet potatoes, fucking fine. And your wife is wrong, and and there should be no time spent on that argument whatsoever.
The amount of hours over the course of my marriage I have wasted on this argument, I wish I could have back. But the fact of the matter is, you're right. Like, mini marshmallows just belong on sweet potatoes, and the fact that she refuses to do it. We've been married 26 years. I don't think we're going to make it to 27.
That's just a weird mediation meeting. It's the marshmallows. At the end of the day, it's just the marshmallows.
It's about respect. That's all it is. It's about respect. Respect my needs. Respect my desires.
I had I have family in the Midwest years ago, and they invited. It was one of those things where I happened to be performing out there, and they go, "Come to dinner," and I went to dinner, and they had the salad was whipped cream with lettuce shreds and some carrot shreds, and then there was bananas on top, and that was the salad. And
right.
I was like, these are
that's salad. What are you confused about? That is salad.
Exactly. These people.
Where in the Midwest was this?
We were in Michigan. I had relatives in Michigan.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So I want to talk to you about something. I read your stuff. I love your stuff. I steal ideas out of it sometimes for my Armageddon update. And I don't steal your lines, but I'm like, that's a good point. How would I write that? I'm just going to say it right up front. You can sue the podcast. There's no money. Sue the podcast. But smart people are rare.
How should I plagiarize this idea?
Exactly. Well, sometimes it's just like, I didn't think of it like that. But your insight's good. I'm just going to admit it straight up. I'd never do it with my comedy, but for this podcast, yeah, don't worry. No one's going to see it anyway.
Steal away. No. I know nobody's watching your podcast.
Then why? Good. He said yes, just because I don't know why. I want to ask you something about this. Your insight into it. I am to a point, and I didn't feel this before. When he first got elected the first time, I became this valiant gladiator. We're going after this mother. We're taking his ass down. And this time, I'm just like, you know what? I almost feel like I'm in a relationship where all my friends just decided to start doing heroin. And after I told them what was going to happen, and they did heroin 4 years ago, and they all ended up in rehab. And I'm like, guys, look how fucked up you guys did. And now they're back to heroin. And I'm like, well,
and you can't get out.
Yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, it's like I'm not going to help you addicts get out this time. That's kind of
a bad example. That's a bad example, a bad analogy, because heroin is delicious.
Yeah, well, that's true. With marshmallows. Will you put the tiny marshmallows with your heroin? My God. Midwest heroin style. Heroin is delicious.
Heroin salad.
That's going on the t-shirt thing. Heroin is delicious is going on.
No tariffs on
I
heroin.
just stole something else from you. So what is that, man? Because I'm not that guy. I am fierce and I get involved, and at this time I just don't give a flying fuck.
I think everybody in my circle feels exactly the same way that you feel, which is I wouldn't say it's exactly fatigue. I mean, I do have some fatigue, but it's more than that. It's what you said. It's like, hey, we went through this. You guys, you were nodding off. You were ODing. You went to rehab. Right. You finally got your shit together. And then you're like, you know what? Let's give heroin another try. And at that point, you just throw up your hands and be like, all right, man, that's on you. Yeah, it's not that I'm fatigued. It's that you've made your bed and now you're going to OD in it. I mean, that's just kind of what it feels like.
The only problem is now they're walking around with needles sticking us with heroin too. That's the problem. Is like they're doing heroin, then they're going, "Hey, you get heroin too."
Needles are everywhere.
Like, I don't want heroin, but that's what you got.
And they're slapping tariffs on it too, which is making it even more expensive. Street junk is expensive enough.
20% on all the heroin. There's going to be 20% too.
I don't know, man. I think people like you and me who do feel ourselves to be like I don't know. I would never describe myself as fierce. I mean, just look at my physique. But yeah, I know what you're saying. And there's to me right now, I just feel like we're playing a waiting game. Right now, we're just kind of hanging out, just waiting. You want to pick Pete Hegseth? Great. You want to pick Dr. Ross? Fantastic. You want to pick RFK? Go for it, buddy. Like, I'm not gonna wring my hands over every little thing. I'm just waiting it out. And I'm just not waiting out the 4 years, but I'm just waiting out to sort of see where to direct my energies, what's going to happen. And there's also a sense of like, all right, like, this is what you want. Like, I'm like, this America, this is what you want. So have it.
Yeah.
It's yours now.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, we've talked about it though, but like this goes back and it's weird to explain to people how it goes. No, first of all, no one does research at all. You do, I do. I sit down for hours. I'm reading stuff to figure out why this is like this, whether it's the tariffs, whether it's why gas prices are high because of what Trump tried to motherfuck the Biden with the deal with Russia and Saudi by cutting production. And you explain it to people and this goes, and then it goes even further back to Reagan destroying our education system. And at one point you just go, this is going to be really hard to explain to you stupid people. And people get, and then in the mainstream media, I think we try to lay out like this is truth. And like the mainstream media, there is no good media anymore. MSNBC sucks. They keep talking about Trump I kept saying this, he's not a viable candidate. And you guys keep talking about him like he's literally, well, Trump says that. What the fuck are you talking about? He's right. Holding a guitar. He's getting sued by,
he said they're eating the dogs. How do you become president after that?
So you don't have nothing. So you come on our podcast with nothing. You're basically saying, I have nothing to say, or we're just going to wait it out.
I mean,
we'll see how it plays out, and then
I'm not here to offer hope. I'm not here to offer plans.
You rarely are, though.
Direction.
You rarely are, though.
I'm not here to say, hey, you assholes, you're all crazy for electing this guy. No, like this is what you want. Okay, great.
We've done that. We did that.
But like I don't know. I mean, I don't watch. I tend not to watch cable news, even though I'm on a cable news network.
Very funny on the show, by the way. Very funny on CNN.
Thank you.
Very funny.
I appreciate that. Yes, you can come on. Jesus, Chris.
I don't. Yeah. I don't think Roy. I don't think anyone wants me.
Did you hear that? That was just blatantly casting out the line and
just me screaming at craft services. They're going to be like, Titus is yelling about M&Ms. What is going on? But keep going.
But there's a lot. I mean, what's so frustrating, I think probably for you and for me and for millions of others, is that the information is all right there. Like, it's not hard if you have a question about something to spend 5 minutes looking it up and figuring out the answer. It's not hard if you have any sense of American history to understand in a sort of a general way how we got here and who this person represents, because we've sort of been here before, but we've never, at least maybe we have, at least not to my limited knowledge, we've never elected somebody like this. And to do it twice, to me, I don't even care about him. I care about what it says about us.
Yes.
I care that half of the country was like, yep, let's round up millions of people and put them in concentration camps. I resent and hate that they're like, yep, let's attack the most vulnerable and marginalized people in our culture. And then to have the media turn around and say, well, you shouldn't be protecting the most vulnerable and marginalized people in the culture if you want to win elections. Well, then what the fuck are we trying to win elections for? Why are we turning our backs on the people who any political movement has to start, in my opinion, from the most vulnerable and marginalized people. That's the whole point of politics. You lift people up, knowing that when we lift up people, we all rise.
And that's been proven throughout history.
Yeah. And the fact that half of America wants to turn our backs on that's to me the most sort of disgusting, dispiriting, and upsetting part about this election. Not Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. I don't give a shit about Donald Trump. I care about the 50% of Americans who are like, yep, that's our guy. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Well, there's a lot of evidence to show that they really didn't know what they were voting for. The fact that people were searching what a tariff is the day after. The day after they fucking voted.
Oh, yeah. But here's the problem. It's like, yes, they didn't know what they were voting for because they didn't fucking research what they were voting for. And the problem is what you said. You said protecting the most vulnerable. It becomes like this thing. These are people we fucking pay to do a job. Why wouldn't you want the person that your tax dollars is going to do the best job for you when you can fucking see what they're going to do wrong? You can see. Like he's telling you what he's going to do wrong. He's telling you the tariffs. Yeah. And so you go, well, you should go, if you don't know, you should go, your job as an American, as a citizen is to sit down and go, all right, what do tariffs actually do? Oh God, what is Smoot-Hawley? That destroyed the economy in the 30s? Holy shit. Maybe we don't want tariffs. This isn't the smartest guy. What has happened when we, in a nation designed as immigrants, let's get rid of all the immigrants. So you want to go against the Constitution, against the Founding Fathers, against every principle of this country. Oh, and by the way, we're all free except for those fucking people who do that. Like everything that they voted for is so against the word patriot and so against what they said, what they say they are. And yesterday I was coming down that 101 and I started laughing. There was a guy, giant flags, blue line on the flags, says emergency vehicle, immigrants need to go. And it was a Nissan. And I wanted to go, bro, that's not even American. I started laughing. And I was like, it's a big, giant Nissan thing. I'm like,
that's imported, dude.
But they live in an unaware hypocrisy.
8 years ago when he first ran, you could go, all right, like maybe like this guy's just blustering and he's saying these shitty things and he doesn't mean them. And he's just sort of, trying to get attention but he's a successful businessman, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. No, we had those 4 years. They weren't good. And all of this like sort of weird nostalgia for the Trump administration is misplaced at best. But this time around, you have no excuse. You know exactly who he is. You know exactly what he's running on. And what he's running on is resentment and hatred. And he's giving you moral license to express your own resentment and hatred. These people don't give a shit about tariffs. These people don't. Ultimately, I don't think like the economy is the issue. What they're voting on is just resentment. That's all they're voting on. And yes, I understand there is a sliver of the population. I wouldn't say a sliver. Let's say a sizable minority of the population for whom the last 4 years, because of the pandemic and because of inflation and because of the sort of reshuffling of the manufacturing base and all the sort of global issues involving the economy. Yes, you can go, all right, I'm frustrated with the way things are and I need to shake things up. Fine. But And if you say that's the only reason, that's the only thing I'm voting for, okay, fine. I'll give you that. You 15%. I'll give you that. But the rest of the people who are doing well, most of Trump's voters are doing fine. Yeah. They're white, they're straight. If the economy was such a problem, why did Trump only get, let's say, 20% of the African American vote? A high standard for any Republican, but why weren't those same voters why didn't he get 50%? If the economy is really the thing, why didn't he attract all of the LGBT vote if it's really about the economy? Why is it that the people who vote for him tend to be white, well-off people?
Yeah. To your point, yes.
Because it's not the economy.
Yeah. It's not. There's a big section that just purely voted, and we get comments on our videos that say, I'm voting for him because he makes libs cry. Because all they wanted was to see other people in pain, and they wanted this kind of weird revenge, and they're just like pissed off at the liberal elites, and that's the only reason they voted.
That's another thing. All their language, man. It's like it's such Goebbels, man. I wish people knew history. I wish we weren't stopping teaching it. It's funny to me that they keep saying the word elites. I want to be elite. That's the whole point of being America, is that we're supposed to be elite. Liberal elites. Well, what the fuck are you talking about?
Does it mean best?
Don't we want to be the best? And
doesn't that mean great?
It's like they don't.
Are we trying to be great again?
And if you want to go to the word woke, Eisenhower was the more, probably compared to today, one of the most woke presidents we've ever had. With what he built and what he did for the country. All right, we got to do some ads right now. Hold on, Michael. Go ahead.
AG1, everybody.
Who are we whoring today? Because, by the way, just so you know, people, we always the only stuff we whore is the only stuff we use.
A fantastic supplement. I've started using it, and I can vouch for, first of all, the taste. and how amazing it is. AG1.
I had it this morning. So I got it this morning. I always start with we have these big tumbler glasses, boom, water, AG1, and I feel it's funny. You know what it does? It also takes the weird acidity out of coffee for me. Like if I have 2 cups of coffee.
Oh, you mix it with coffee?
No. I don't mix it. I actually, what I do is I'll have 2 cups of coffee. And as Ray always says, I get janky.
Yeah.
I get like jittery. And then I do the AG1 and it just mellows me out. And I don't know why. I guess, but AG1, a sense of well-being, everything I take it every day. I'm in better shape than I used to be. I'm not that, but I'm just saying it gives you all the nutrients that you
your body needs. Yes.
Yeah, you'd have to eat. You know how much vegetables you'd have to eat to get all this stuff?
You can't possibly eat everything that you need to eat.
Oh, by the way, what are you doing? I got to get to my cornucopia. I got to get to my horn of plenty to get my nutrients. Or you could take AG1.
I got to eat this plate of spirulina. Guys, if you've been trying to find, this is actually a really good holiday gift. A really thoughtful one.
For your out of shape relatives. Definitely.
And so right now, AG1 is running a special Black Friday offer.
What?
Yes. AG1 is a daily health drink packed with nutrients to help alleviate bloating, support sustained energy. That too. I feel like I do have extra energy and whole body health. You'll also just feel better because you don't have to take all the fucking vitamins.
But just sense of well-being. Like I really do. I really mean that. Like I have a sense of like after I take it, about 35 minutes after I take it, I get a calm, like the world's going to be okay thing.
Yes, same. So this holiday season, try AG1 for yourself or even gift it to someone special. It's the perfect time to focus on supporting your body with an easy and surprisingly delicious daily health drink. And that's why we've partnered with AG1 for so long. Every week of November, AG1 is running a special Black Friday offer for a free gift with your first subscription, in addition to the welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/Titus to see what gift you can get this week. That's drinkag1.com/Titus to start your holiday season off on a healthier note. Hurry up and do it while supplies last, everybody.
All right, Michael. Oh wait, we're not done. We have
no. There's another one.
Sorry, Michael.
There's one more supplement. This is the one supplement that AG1 doesn't have. And it's creatine.
I take these every night.
Yes.
So between Fitbod, AG1, and this stuff,
it's killer.
Dude, first of all, I've been working out with Fitbod for 2 years now. I started taking this stuff when they became advertisers, and the creatine, the powder, it's hard to take.
Let's talk about something disgusting. Is creatine.
Yeah, but this is like a gummy. It's a gummy. It's like a little what I get. Candy. I get a snack. I get a little snacky snack.
Everybody should be using creatine.
I take 3 of them. It's right. It's like 5 grams a day. You're supposed to take. I take 3 of them. It tastes good. It's fun, and again, don't let your kids see it because your kids will be like
it'll be gone.
It'll be gone.
They'll be jacked. But it'll be,
hey mom, what's up? Dad, how you doing? I'm sick.
I'm super focused right now. Creatine isn't just for us guys or athletes anymore. Whether you're a woman looking to tone, a guy looking to bulk, a sleep-deprived parent looking for an energy and cognitive boost. Yeah, I'm all of those. Except for the woman.
Yeah.
Or a grandparent looking to maintain or build muscle. Creatine gummies can help.
It does. It works. I mean, I have put on, like I shouldn't be, from all the studies say at my age, I shouldn't be able to put muscle on.
Yeah.
And I'm putting muscle on.
Yeah. Just the fact, I've always been using creatine, right?
Right.
But the fact that I get them in these little, like delicious little gummies is kind of a game changer.
And you're not cheating.
Yeah. Because it's such it's such an easier way to get it because it is a pain in the ass. Okay, you got the jar, you got the powder. The powder puffs up. Yep. You inhale it, and it tastes like mercury. Exactly. But anyway, the gummies are just like boop, and you're done. So it's quick. So guys, get 30% off any subscription or one-time purchase of Create 90-count bags at trycreate.co/Titus. That's trycreate.co/Titus for 30% off your order. 30%.
Can confirm it is the best way to get your creatine.
Yeah,
I can confirm. You don't mix it up, get a big chunk of it, and you're like, it's like, what are you eating? I'm eating candy and my creatine.
This is not cocaine.
Yeah. All right. So good. We've got your opinion. You're just as bitter and angry as we are, which is great. I was hoping for that. And are you resigned?
Yeah, but I look great.
You do look good. You do look good. The lighting in the background works. I don't know how you made that work because you've directed, and to have that window working is almost impossible. Good job, man.
That's a green screen.
It's CGI.
There you go.
I read your thing on your stand up this week about the woman that heckled, and you I read it, and I've been in that situation, and I don't play. What we had someone, I was in Idaho, and someone yelled something out about. Here's what happened. We got in an argument about Hitler. I do this bit where I'm like,
were you pro or against? What side did you come down
against? No, weirdly enough, some of the audience was pro. I was in Nazi-occupied Idaho. So what happened is that some guy goes, I start talking. I do this bit where I'm like, I do this bit in my new show, Doomed to Repeat. You got to know history. And I said, there was this guy in the 30s, and I explained to them like I'm at a first grade class, and it's basically just compares Trump. Exactly, literally everything Hitler did to what Trump's doing. And some guy yells at, he goes, yeah, but he invented Volkswagen. And I'm a car guy, and I just go, no, Ferdinand Porsche invented the VW. And then some guy just yells out, he goes, what about the Autobahn? And I go, are we trying to figure out why Hitler was okay? Here's how bad he was. He ruined a facial hairstyle. Ruined it. The only person that could make it work was Charlie Chaplin, and he did it ironically. And I started yelling, and the audience went nuts, but it's weird how we have to deal. It's the only job. My daughter plays music. It's the only job we have as comedians where people have this amazing. Magicians don't get heckled. Guitar acts, no one just starts throwing shit. And hypnotists don't just.
You went with the Phrygian style on that solo, bro. Why didn't you go with the Dorian mode? Come on, bro.
So when you and here's the weird thing I saw, and I want to stop you. I want to argue with you a little bit about this. You called her a bitch because she got up and left, and you said I should have been better than that. And I love you that you hold your comedy to a higher standard. You should have been more intellectual. But at one point, you're in front of an audience, and you just got to get it out. I have said things that I would never say to a human being from the stage. To a human being that off stage would never in a million years even say it. Why do you think that you had to write that about that woman? So basically, go ahead. He got heckled. You want to tell a story? Tell a story.
Well, so in the beginning of my show last Friday, late show, I was just, I had written some Trump jokes, and I was just sort of trying them out at the top of the show. And it was clear that there was a woman stage right with a small party who didn't like it. And we had a brief back and forth at the top of the show. Like, I didn't insult her. She didn't really insult me. It was just like, she's a Trump fan, blah, 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 blah. But from that point on, it was weird. I don't feel like I've ever had this in a show. I could feel her like hating me. Like, I wasn't looking at her. I was like, from that, it was just like daggers being hurled at me. So I was only doing like 50 minutes. At 45 minutes, she gets up with her party and starts to walk out. And I go, why are you leaving? And she goes, because you're not funny. And
that's a mistake right there.
But the mistake was on me. Because I responded in the least clever way possible. I had been thinking about her for the previous 40 minutes, and she'd been thinking about me for the previous 40 minutes. And I don't remember exactly how I phrased it, but I called her a bitch. And it just, as soon as the words came out of my mouth, I was like, Jesus Christ, Michael, like, that's just like, why are you like, you literally said the least clever thing imaginable to these people, and sexist, obviously.
I love that the Schwartz side of you lives very. You heard your mother speaking through your own head just now.
Oh my God.
Michael, why did you say that, Michael? It's just very funny to me.
My mother is furious at me at this moment, mentally in my head, and she goes, "Oh, I've been called worse by better," and I said, "I believe you." that you've been called worse, but I doubt it was by better, which was, fine.
Clever, much clever. Yeah, you guys were both kind of clever. You guys were playing another. I think there's a romance here. I think
except I suspect she'd used that line before.
She had to. Yeah.
As she indicated, I'm not the first person to say that.
That was her hacky bit.
So she ended up leaving. She left, and then we spent like the next 10 minutes laughing about it in the room. But I just felt guilty. So much Jewish guilt about calling her that. But in fairness to me, as I said to the room at the time, that was the least objectionable of the words that I wanted to call her in the moment. Right. So I did have some restraint, but not enough.
So that you feel guilty about it, I'm going to absolve you of all of it. You are a stand-up comedian in Texas. And you are doing Trump jokes. You are a warrior. Like, it's the balls to like do it. Like I broke in the bit in this new thing doomed to repeat in Alabama, because I don't believe me do it on the West Coast. I'm a pussy if I do it on the West Coast. I'm just a punk.
Right.
But if I take it to the red place I can and do it and it works, then I know I've got something I can work on. So I will absolve you of all sins. You did nothing wrong. I do understand that you were.
Thank you, fellow middle-aged man, for absolving me of my sexism and misogyny.
No, it wasn't misogyny. It wasn't misogyny. I believe this with heckling.
Oh, no, I hated her.
Yeah.
No, I hated her.
Good. All right, good. Then you were fine. Then you have to true to thyself. You have to be true to yourself. And I do understand you're angry at yourself for not being more clever, for just popping off something I would. You go, bitch. You were like, I hate me. I hate me for that. You didn't hate her. She deserved it. She deserved way worse, but you just wish you had been a little more flowery with it. Yes?
Oh, yeah. No. I have no problem with yelling at her. I just wish I'd been better, more clever about it.
Good.
And I wish I hadn't used that word. That's all. I'll attack an audience member at the drop of a hat. Happy to do that.
This is what I needed to hear. This is what I needed to get this Michael.
Oh, no, nothing makes me happier than having confrontation with an audience member. It's just the way it happens.
You heard it, guys. Go see Michael Ian Black live, and he loves confrontation. He said it. We got it right here. Where do you think we go on this? Because I want to go back to politics for a second. I did this, by the way, just so you know, this podcast did not start out to be a political one. It was named the Armageddon Update, ironically, because remember when they were going after Obama for a tan suit and mustard on a hot dog, whatever?
Yeah.
And so ironically, the world, he had turned the crisis around, the Great Recession around. So I ironically named it the Armageddon Update. And then we slowly went into Armageddon Update. I don't mean to manifest the end of the world, but maybe we did on this little tiny podcast. What do you think? Where do we go? And I said he was going to.
No, there's no ego there.
Yeah,
there's no ego there. We manifested all this shit. Yeah,
exactly. From our tiny studio, we just started saying Armageddon Update, and look. All I'm saying is the results are there, my friend. I said he was going to try to stay in power. I said he was going to impose martial law. January 6th was kind of like that. And we kept talking about how he was going to fuck it up. Every time a new problem came up, I would cringe. I always say I opened my phone every day during the first term, like cutting the red wire on a bomb. It was like, what? Fuck now, fuck. So and now end of the world predictions by Michael Ian Black.
Well, so now we're just waiting for shit to blow up. Because we know it's going to. We just don't know what the nature of it is.
Right.
We don't know, like, whether it's going to be the concentration camps that he opens, or
which he's done already.
Something to do with Russia, something to do with Israel. Like, we just don't know, like, where the bomb's going to go off, but it's going to go off maybe literally. So I feel like I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting. I don't know what else to do. What good does it do? As you and I both did when he was first elected, to just get the constant updates on the phone and this and that, and just like have our gears spinning at 1,000 miles an hour every day for 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience for that anymore. I don't have the will to do that anymore. And I'm not entertained by it. The dark truth of it is, a lot of what Trump brings to the political table is simply entertainment. Even in the chaos, it's entertaining. Even in that first administration, when every day somebody else was getting kicked out of his administration, and we could turn into Madoff for sort of breathless updates about all the chaos he's sowing. I I'm past it. Like, I don't want to see it. I'm not interested. So I feel like I'm purely reactive right now, but not in the way that I was last time. I'm not like a cougar on a tree branch, just waiting to pounce on anything that comes by.
Right.
I'm chilling. Like, there's nothing else I can do, nothing else I want to do other than chill. I'm not knitting pink pussy hats. I'm not buying Sharpies to make placards. I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm just waiting.
Not this time.
And not this time. And I did last time, and fuck it. What did it do? What did it accomplish? Nothing. So this time I'm hanging out, and it's not that I feel like it's anybody else's problem. It's just that I don't know how to be proactive in a constructive way that isn't going to destroy my mental health.
Amen. Yeah. Hey, Michael, we got to do another ad. Yeah, we have ads. That's how big and massive our podcast is. Give me a second.
But the Democrats are also paying us. So
yes.
Plus the ads.
Like, I don't understand, but go ahead. All right, what do we got now?
Guys, this holiday season, you know what you're going to need? Naps. And a lot more sleeping, because it's going to be winter time.
The tryptophan, you get a little turkey, pass out. Where do you pass out?
You pass out on your Helix
mattress. All right, so here I am qualified to talk about this.
Yes.
I imagine me being on the road since I was 19 years old, sleeping in bed after bed in shitty hotel after shitty hotel after shitty
Springs in your back
and lumpy. Like, sometimes, like,
prison mattress.
The population of a small continent have slept on the same mattress I'm sleeping on. Yeah. I guess what I don't take into on the road, a blue light, a black light. I do not take one of those lights with me. I do not want to find this guy. I don't want to see the crime scene, because I sleep in the crime scene. We got the Helix mattress. I got to tell you, it's like coming home is like this. So I'm on the road, staying in crappy beds. My back hurts. This hurts. They're lumpy. There's a hole and there's a ditch in it. Like, like, how fat were the people that slept?
There's a chalk outline of a body.
Exactly. I get home with we got the Helix mattress, and it's just like, you get in bed after a night on the road, and it's like, firm. It actually supports me. I sleep better on my side. The mattress has been phenomenal. I like the company. I love the mattress, and so far.
Have you ever looked forward to getting home to go into
now? I do.
Like
yes.
This.
Yeah, I do. Yes. Because actually that night, whenever, because it's travel day, so you feel like crap, and you get in the Helix mattress, and it's like,
oh yeah, God, that's so good. Guys,
you want one, don't you?
Yes, I really do. This November, 25% off site-wide, plus 2 free dream pillows with any mattress purchase.
Wow.
Yeah, you get a free bedding bundle. That's 2 dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector.
Bedding bundle, beautiful.
And they're Better Business Bureau. BBB. Guys, get the free bedding bundle with any Luxe or Elite mattress order at helixsleep.com/Titus.
Where do they go again for that?
Helix. HELIX sleep.com/Titus.
Good mattress. I love all the new technology. Mattresses used to be just like they would just a bag with stuff in it. Like they literally mattresses started with a bag with hay.
Yeah, because
now we have all this technology, and it's so good.
You can have a great mattress, but if you put your disgusting bacteria-filled sheets on it,
right? Do you have? Is that what you have? Oh, you have a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, everything is just bacteria-filled.
You live with bacteria. Yeah.
So you're gonna we have another ad. Because guess what you're going to put on your Helix?
Miracle Made sheets?
Yes.
We love these. I told Ray, I got in bed the other night, and I told Ray, I go, you know what's great? Again, this goes back to traveling on the road. You know, Residence Inn doesn't spend a lot of money on the sheets.
Oh, yeah.
None of even the nice hotels. There's like maybe a 5-star hotel. Once in a while, we'll get in the bed on the road where it's like, oh.
Or they're so bleached that it's just like a cement.
They're literally thin.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you just, why is there even a sheet here?
I'm cut. I'm like,
exactly. Wind's blowing through it. Miracle Made sheets, on the other hand, I got in bed 2 nights ago, and I was like, you know what I love about coming home as I get, and like it's crispy. It's crispy, and they're just nice, and they're and you know what I really enjoy about them? There's a sense of quality when I get in bed that I'm just like, and I sleep better. I don't know.
Here's something that's going to make you
crazy
vomit.
All right.
Traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat.
Oh.
It's kind of a fun fact. Isn't that fun?
That's
fun,
not
everybody.
a fun. That is not a fun fact. That's a herp fact.
It can lead to acne, allergies, and stuffy noses. And it's just gross.
And I want to say, look at no acne, no stuffy nose, no allergies.
There you go. Looking handsome. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning. Self-cleaning. That's, boy, you're being a busy
let's not take
parent.
that too serious.
That
what does that mean?
I gotta get these
forever.
You can just get in. Right. You don't have to shower. Just get in. It cleans you.
Good. Oh God. Do not let your son read that. No. Get in the shower and wash your sheets.
He's like, Dad, but I have a Miracle Made. I don't have to.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They will do that. Well, I don't have to clean them. They're self-cleaning. No.
Go to trymiracle.com/Titus. That's trymiracle.com/Titus to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo Titus at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%.
I love that our people that advertise with us, they're not just buy this and go. They're like, and you know what? You're on the Titus thing. A couple of towels.
Get a little this, get a little extra this.
I'll give you 3 towels. So you're going to have to fight over the second one. Someone needs a second towel, you're going to have to fight. If you get you and your wife, you got 3. Who gets the new clean towel? It's self-cleaning. Relax.
Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Titus and use the code Titus to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Titus to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
We have good products. I want you guys to know why we do that. I've been on a bunch of podcasts before we really got ours going, and I would guest on them, and they would just pound through the ads. They would just pound through them. And I would always go, you guys are just taking money. You don't care about the product. So I don't know if you guys know this. I say this all the time, but you new listeners, we use them. If we don't, Ray gets so mad at me sometimes because we'll get something, they'll send it, and I'll be like, no.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have to tell them, no, yeah, but the ad buys this. I go, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I didn't start the podcast to do ad buys. I didn't.
We love
now. There is a money level. I'll whore myself, but we're not even close to there yet.
We actually use these products and we give them as gifts, like buy them.
Yes.
I've done this with half the sponsors that we have.
Oh, the Create, like I tell people all the time, get Fitbod. I used Fitbod last night.
Yeah.
Like I was here at the shop and I have a little gym set up here and I worked out and I've used Fitbod all the time. Yeah. So that's the funny thing is when people go, that's another thing. People complain about ads. They're like, oh, you guys do so many ads. I'm like, you know what? It's a free podcast. You're welcome.
Yeah. Welcome for the great research on these products.
And we have Michael Ian back. Michael, we were talking about, the last time though, like you could see it, he closed down all the pandemic response offices. We had a pandemic, like he's going to let us know what's going to happen. You know, the camps, he'll let us know. Oh, what's happening now? Oh, there's a 40% tariff. Okay, guys, we're about to get in a trade war with everybody.
Did you buy everything you had to buy before this happened?
Oh man, I did. We have
stock up.
All right, man. So how are your kids dealing with it? You have kids about the same age mine. I have 20 and 22. And how are your kids?
I don't know how old my children are, but I think they're okay.
I looked it up. They're about 20 and 22. You're good. I hope
they're good. I mean, my son who's older is definitely more attuned to the world, politically speaking, than my daughter, who's still in college and I think is trying to keep her head in the sand a little bit. But they're both well aware of what's going on. I think they're both a little bit freaked out about what's going on. But what's funny is like both of my kids were born post 9/11. So they've never known a normal world.
Right.
Like to me, 9/11, we have not snapped back from that.
Right.
Yeah.
That moment, when they say like everything's different now, I didn't understand that was going to be literally true. I didn't understand that it was going to reshuffle the world in such a deep and profound way that the very idea of normalcy has been erased. Like the only normal period I feel like they had was during Obama's years. And even that was marred by so much congressional dysfunction and infighting and resentment and hatred that it still never quite returned to, let's say, like the Clinton era or even the George H.W. Bush era, where, there was anger and there was there was at least a tiny bit of comedy, like things did get done.
Right.
Maybe not in the Clinton era. They hated Clinton, but
They hated Obama too, though. And here's the thing: 9/11 showed us that, look, and I wish people would face this. We've had this: we are number one, we are the greatest nation on earth, we are this, we are that, and then 9/11 happened, and we never really, I mean, in the generations that we know, had never been attacked on our own soil, and all of a sudden, that was all ripped away, and it can happen. And then we've got Putin talking about dropping nukes again, and it's a real thing. It's a real possibility. Everybody else, the technology is caught up around the world. We have countries that have just as much tech as we do. I mean, except for the alien stuff, which I want to talk about one next, and then I'm going to let you go. But because I know you, thank you for spending the time with us, man. We have
if I had anything better to do, I would be doing it.
I know, trust me.
Anything better.
I get that. That we hit you in the window of you just being. It was either sitting in your socks and watching TV or Titus. Okay, thank you. Maybe Titus will say something halfway smart. But once we got attacked on our own soil and we saw the two monuments of America taken out. There is, and we've gotten used to it, but there is an undercurrent. As you were saying it, I was thinking you're right. There's an undercurrent that shit can go wrong at any moment. And I think when the economy crashed, the mortgage crisis, that was another moment where we were like, oh, as I got older, I realized, oh, fuck, nobody knows anything. I'm smarter than most of these people. And that's the scariest part. That was not a good day for me. Yeah. When I realized I didn't graduate college, I have a writer's guild nomination without going to college. I'm smarter than some of these fuckers that are running shit. And that's not cool.
I had that experience
when you were 7.
No. I'm not going to say who, but I became friendly with a fairly prominent American politician. And there was a moment where he was talking to me about shit that was going on in the world that he should have known a hell of a lot more than I did. And the way he was talking to me, it was clear that he didn't. And I was like, whoa, this is terrifying. You're supposed to be so much smarter than me about all this shit. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, they have more sort of information, kind of raw information and data, but they're relying on a lot of the same sources that we're relying on. They're not necessarily any smarter than any of us. They're just as subject to the whims of sort of popular opinion and public sentiment as the rest of us. Like, it's not that nobody's in charge. It's that I was under the illusion that the people who were in charge were better than me.
Yes.
They're not.
Yes.
So many of them are worse.
Yeah, please God. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then as when Reagan just started destroying the education state in America, and I always say education is national security. It covers all the aspects, new technology. We should all know building new things, knowing how to figure out problems, create critical thinking. And we just have stopped doing it because that's the only way the people in power can stay. I mean, George Carlin, we fucking need George Carlin right now. So you have to try
remind me who that is.
Comedian at the end kind of got grumpy, low grumpy. It's a little grumpy.
Not familiar, but I'll check it out.
He's
very
good.
Cool. I'm going to check it out.
Very good. My son started doing stand up. And I made him sit down and listen to Carlin. And at one point he did the weirdest thing. I loved him for it. Because he started writing his own. He did 65 open mics in LA before he went to college, and he's still doing them all the time. Yeah, the horrible open mics, the worst possible open mics. And I respected him because he was doing it on his own, and he wasn't letting me help him. He's like, no, I want to figure it out. I play him Carlin, the thing about the man in the sky, and he just goes, so you can actually write about something. I'm like, I'm your dad, right? Like, I'm your dad. Have you seen any?
Yeah, first show him your stuff.
I go, anything I've done?
Yeah, seriously.
And but he really got it, and he's not writing anything like that, but he got the inside of it. How
old is he?
He is 22 now. 22. No, okay. Shit. He's only 20. My daughter's 22. See, I don't know either.
Yeah.
I know more about your kids actually after reading than I know about my kids.
Can't keep track.
So aliens, you believe that the government's lying about them?
Well, yes.
I do too.
Want me to say yes? Oh, you do?
I do too. Well, only because they can't. There's been so many things that Obama has said. There's so many things that Clinton said. There's a thing with the Democrats where they will. I think Republicans are I find it, as a group dumber and more fearful. And Clinton has said a couple things and Obama said a couple things that I was like, wait a minute. He kind of let it out and then realized that the people in the black suits are going to come get him. That's what I thought. I think that we have either discovered it. I think there is too much going on. Not everybody knows how to use Premiere and Photoshop that well. On some of the videos, not everybody, because we do it here, and I know that I watch some of it with Ken, and I'm like, Ken, how did they do that? He goes, I don't know how they did that. And Ken can do anything. So I think that we have, but I don't think it's like we found some guys and we have some bodies. I think there is. Here's what I know. Why is it whenever the nukes start happening, when conflict starts to happen, all of a sudden all the stuff comes up?
Yeah, I
think we are an ant farm. My theory is we're an ant farm. There's a weird genetic jump. I love this conspiracy stuff. There's a weird genetic jump in monkeys to us. That means there's the missing link. They keep talking about it. Well, the missing link would be someone who's like, hey, look at these monkeys. Let's see if we can, let's fuck around and see if we can make some shit that can build a car. Let's see if they can build a car. And I think that, I don't know if listen, if they're benign and they're watching us and they're stopping us from killing ourselves, then I'm fine with it. If they're using us for food, some of us can go. I'm fine with that. Some of us can go. Yeah. There's some of us that should be food.
A lot of us.
You know, valid. That's valid. So go. What's your theory?
All right. So what you may or may not, or what your audience certainly doesn't know, is I'm deep into this topic, and
this is great. I'm so happy.
The more I learn about it, the less confident I am about anything. But here's what I do know. I do know that the Pentagon in 2017 has said, yeah, these things are real. We're studying them and we don't know what they are. So we can take that as kind of a starting point. There is something out there. There's plenty of video. There's plenty of photographs. There's plenty of radar information. There's plenty of satellite information. There's plenty of sonar information. These things, whatever they are, and it may not necessarily be one thing. It could be many things, but they're operating in space, in the skies, and in the seas. And we don't know what they are. So whatever the explanation, whether it's the most prosaic explanation, which is that it's foreign tech or it's our tech, or the most exotic explanation, which is that these are interdimensional time travelers or what have you, whatever the explanation, it's fascinating. It's a fascinating story. There are literally metal spheres flying without any obvious means of propulsion over sensitive aircraft, military facilities all over the world. And it's not just an American problem. This happens globally, has been happening for decades and possibly longer than that. So what the fuck is it? Nobody knows. So that's what I know for sure. I know that there is something out there and that there has been no satisfactory explanation for what there is. And we can get as far down the rabbit hole from that point as you wish to go, because I could spend the rest of the day talking about this. And as we both know, I have nothing better to do.
So when you said not just decades, it goes back to ancient writings. It goes back to ancient paintings.
This is centuries, millennia, possibly epochs.
Right. So if that's the case, it's a long-term problem. We are a long-term ant farm. I was thinking about, I talked about it and I did a show called Zero Side Effects and I talked about it. I go, in the middle of COVID, the government told us aliens existed and we went, not now. We didn't want to know. And so right now we've got, so when you think about how they live in the ocean, well, that's just another type of atmosphere to them. Like it would be, it would kill us.
It's no different than our air.
Exactly. So, I think that we are, and how could they keep it hidden so long? And I'm like, because they are obviously so much. They're not keeping it hidden. They're flying past us, and we're going, "What is that? I don't know what that is." That's what we're doing. They know how dumb we are. These monkeys are dumb.
Well, if your listeners are interested, here's an interesting story. A lot of times people say, well, "Why don't they land on the White House lawn if they want?" In 1952, they basically did. there was a series of sightings over the White House and over Washington, D.C. that lasted for, I want to say like a couple weeks. I mean, they're called the Washington, D.C. UFO sightings. It ended up prompting the largest Air Force press conference since World War II as they were trying to explain this. There's still been no satisfactory explanation for it. I mean, they did essentially land on the White House lawn, and then we forgot about it because we have the attention span of us.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it's about 4 years from what I'm gathering. We have a attention of 4 years because when I try to explain what happened 4 years ago to people, they're like, no.
Can the aliens help us with Trump?
Can the alien? I think that would be great because I think Trump's the kind of guy that like he's going to come out of the Oval Office one day and there's just going to be a Glork or whatever his name is standing there. What's up? Hey, we got to talk, man. You're really fucking this up.
Trump has alluded to this a couple of times on at least a couple of occasions. Now, I tend not to believe anything that comes out of his mouth. However, so I do this show called Have I Got News for You? It's on CNN. One of our guests was a guy named Tim Burkett, who's a MAGA Republican. Not a fan of this guy. However, he, like me, is deep into the UFO subject and is on one of the committees that holds the hearings, the House hearings on UAP/UFOs. So when we were off camera, I said to him, so you're in a position to know more than the general public about this topic. He goes, yes. I said, and being in that position with the information that you've seen, that has made you more convinced, not less convinced into the validity of this. And he looks at me and he gives me like a fairly meaningful look and he goes, yes. So to me, it's like, all right. And then he showed me some pictures of UFOs on his phone. And I was like, okay.
So the yes wasn't quite enough. I love that you actually, you literally like prosecuted his ass into a situation where you got out of it. Wow, man.
But he's very vocal and very open about his interest and support in this. So like, it wasn't like I was trying to get something out of him. I just sort of wanted to see how he would respond to that. And I don't think I'm imagining it. I mean, he gave me like a fairly like meaningful, almost intimate yes.
You know,
and then we talked about it. We talked about a specific story where Matt Gaetz and Paulina Luna went down to a base in Florida. I think it was an Air Force base to talk to them about this subject. And they stonewalled them. They wouldn't tell him anything. Matt Gaetz apparently gets on the phone to the Pentagon, chews them out. Within an hour, he says, some guys show up to the base and brief them on the topic in a more meaningful way. And Matt Gaetz has talked about a photograph that he saw at that meeting. And I might have the details of the photograph wrong because the photograph I'm about to describe has been described before. So I'm not sure if this is what he saw or not, but something like this. A crystal clear image of a sphere flying enclosed in a transparent cube that is flying. And I asked Burkett if he'd seen that photo, and he said yes.
So here's the problem for humanity. Because I believe that they're so far advanced, they don't give a shit if we know. I think that because what are we going to do? If you can build a ball in a cube. And that flies faster than anything, then they're like, the humans are mad. Like there's nothing that's gonna happen.
Oh, Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink. Oh, they're satellites. They have metal in the sky. These guys are incredible. So like the jokes that must go on, the shade that the aliens throw us must be intense. Is that if they found out, like we already see people flipping out on January 6th. Imagine if they were like, because it would blow any semblance of who's running shit away. Yeah. It would be over. It would be over. There would be no control. There would be no governments. There would be no president. We'd be like, no, if you're not running shit. Those guys are running shit. Yeah, ball cube guy. That guy.
Imagine
See, I don't think so. I feel like I think we've been so anesthetized around, at least in this country, maybe around the globe, where if they said it, it would be a story on CNN for 24 hours. And then people would be like, okay, next.
You're right. It was.
I just don't think people would care.
You're right. It actually was. You're actually right. You're right. I said it. Excuse me for burping. That's good. See, that's how low level the podcast is. We're not even going to edit that. We're going to leave the burping.
I'm going to turn it up.
It would be aliens are real, and here's one of them. And then it could come on the TV and dance around and say some shit in alien gibberish. People would freak out for 24 hours. And then the next day, Kylie Jenner would say something about Pete Davidson, and that's where our attention would be elevated. Did you hear what Kylie Jenner fucking said about Pete Davidson?
I think there's some people that need to be vaporized. I think we need some laser shit going on, and then on TV. You're right. Then we'd move on. And then Jake Paul would try to fight the alien. He'd be like, I want to fight this alien. And you're right. And we're back to the monkeys again. You know, man, you've given me no hope, and I appreciate that, because now I feel better about doing what I do every week. Michael, I want to say that we have had a bunch of people on. We've had some great comics on. I'm not going to name who are great comics. They got on this podcast and they suck the life out of all of us. And it was not funny, and it was not informative, and it was not, and you were like 2 steps above that.
But who?
Yeah, I'm not telling you. I'll tell you off camera, but it was wow. It was wow. And like, I couldn't believe we got the guests and they came on, and it was pulling teeth, man, the whole time. So thank you for being so engaging. And can we do an alien one? We'll have you back on and do it. I want to do a much deeper dive.
Anytime.
All right, man. Thank you.
It's my favorite thing to talk about.
Thank you. I'm going to do one thing real quick. So Michael, we got to do a couple ads right now. So we're going to do an ad. Just wait there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now that we know aliens exist, thank you, Michael. Why don't we see what our final ad is today?
We ever see a picture of an alien? They typically have this really nice, smooth skin.
Yeah.
So they're probably using this product. Or
invented it. OneSkin, as always. Got on my forehead right now, by the way.
Maybe that's what we researched from the alien bodies. And OneSkin.
No one knew what collagen was. Yeah. You can get collagen in a powder form now? Thank you, aliens.
Guys, this holiday season is tough on skin. I can vouch for that also. It's colder weather, stuffy indoor heating, and nonstop festivities can lead to a dull, dehydrated complexion.
But also, Ray talks about this stuff. Ray has used 1,000 products over her lifetime, and she loves this stuff. So you were talking about ordering it. People think that we get free product all the time. Yeah. Sometimes the first time we do. But whether it's Harry's, whether it's OneSkin, we ordered I came home and there was a bottle of OneSkin on the thing. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, she buys it for us.
Yeah, we get that. We buy the stuff. We only get it once to test it, and then
Yeah, we get it once to test it. We give you some of it. Yeah.
And then 4 years later, we're still buying it.
Maybe that's how they're getting their money back off paying for the ads. They're like, yeah, once we suck them in, the Titus podcast will buy it.
For a limited time, try OneSkin for 15% off using code Titus when you check out at oneskin.co. This holiday season, invest in your skin's long-term health, because healthy skin is a gift.
Lab designed. It's not just a bunch of people throwing stuff in a bottle and mixing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great stuff.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. OneSkin addresses skin health at the molecular level, targeting the root causes of aging so skin behaves, feels, and appears younger.
Can confirm.
Yeah. I can confirm.
Can confirm.
You know, you're aging in reverse. You were super old when I first met you. Now
I saw a picture of me when I did Norman Rockwell's Bleeding, and I turned to Ray. I go, "Holy shit!" She goes, "Yeah, you got younger." I go, "Well, I was married to a psychopath at that point."
Oh yeah, that'll age you.
Oh yeah, when you're under stress all and OneSkin. When you're under stress all day, no, it has changed. It has changed the way I look. Yes,
it's time to get started with your new face, like Titus. and body routine at a discounted rate. Get 15% off with the code Titus at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code Titus. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them we sent you. We only have one body, one skin, and only you can choose to make it better. Age healthy with OneSkin.
All right, dude, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for being on, man. And I really can't tell you, I have so much respect and so much affirmation for how you write and what you do, man. Thank you, my brother.
Oh, that's really kind. I appreciate it, Titus.
All right, see you, brother. Bye.
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 Now that we let Michael Ian Black go, I want to say the alien thing is so interesting to me. And I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson and a couple other guys talking about, and someone said something really great. I think Isaac Asimov said, he said that whether there is or there isn't, either thing is terrifying. If we're the only people in the universe, which I find incredibly arrogant,
Yeah.
Really, out of all the
endless universe,
the trillions of planets, it's just us. Yeah, that's the most we are a planet of narcissists.
Totally.
Like, and these scientists, like, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson says, well, you know, he's like, he goes, why wouldn't they have shown up? Because we're so far under them.
That's the one time I disagree with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, also, what Michael Ian Black was just saying is that there's so much weird evidence, and they just keep it on the fringe. And if there is no aliens, why would we invent them? Oh, I guess we invented a guy that walks on water. I mean, invent him, but we invented a god in the sky. Yeah. But that tracks back to aliens too. That tracks back to there's a higher being that created us. Yeah. It totally connects. So I choose to believe there is. And I think I do that out of my fear for our leaders worldwide, whether it's Putin or Trump. I'm like, you know what? Because at one point, if you look at the reports during the when the nuclear tests started happening in the 30s and 40s, and they started doing nuclear tests, like all of a sudden aliens started showing up because someone was like, hey, Glurk, fuck, they're doing it. Hey, no, Mom, look at the monitors, they're blowing shit up. No, we gotta go. And they all jumped in and they came and then one of them got drunk and crashed in Roswell. I love that Roswell went from we found aliens. Here's the stuff they built. Here's the material. Here's this, and then all hell broke loose, and they were like, "It's a weather balloon." Oh,
never mind. Yeah.
Weather balloon. Yeah, no, we didn't. No aliens. Nothing.
And that original report came from the Air Force.
And then there was another report, like him and his son kept some pieces. His son had kept the pieces. Dad brought this shit home. Yep. And it's got weird like alien patent numbers on it and stuff. And his kid. So I would like to think, politics aside, look, we are in a place right now with Trump administration that we don't know what's going to happen. I like what Michael said. I like that he said, I'm just waiting. And that's what we're doing now. Yeah. And someone said, it's so quiet. It's so quiet. I go, yeah, because we're waiting to see. The last time farmers went bankrupt, terrorists ruined everything. We lost all our contracts worldwide for agriculture. Then shithole countries. Then we had concentration camps on American soil. Then he closed the pandemic offices and we had a pandemic. Then we had 5,000 a day dying. And now it's like, well, like I love what he said. Like, yeah, we're just waiting. That's why it's so quiet, because we don't know what the fuck up's going to be.
It's like we're waiting for the opposing team to fill their roster, and we're just watching them. Okay, they got that idiot as the goalie. Okay,
no, we're waiting for the gang to fill up there. Like how many killers? It's a gang. It's who are the Crips recruiting now? Because that's who these guys are coming in and. They've already busted one of them. One of them was talking about the Trump administration investigated one of their guys, Boris What's-His-Face. He's really close to Trump. But what he was doing was he was going to companies and going, you want access to the president? This is what it's going to cost you. I need a $40,000 a month consulting fee. And here's the thing about it. And they go, Trump's offended. I started laughing. Trump's not offended because someone was doing something illegal. He was offended because somebody was doing something illegal without cutting him in.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he was mad. Yeah. He also got sued by, is it Gibson Guitars?
Yes.
Yeah, he's getting sued.
Because he's making Les Pauls.
Well, can I just say this, is that when I think of the best guitar players of all time who I want to emulate, Donald Trump pops right to the top. Eric Clapton, no thank you. Nils Lofgren, no.
This guy.
Donald Trump, did you hear the riff? Yeah, that guy.
All that guitar in YMCA? And Ave Maria.
But I just kept thinking, why is Donald Trump, so he's whoring sneakers that he doesn't wear, guitar that he doesn't play, ETFs where he's not himself, where he's got they put his head on Rocky's body. Yep.
And the Bible that he's never read.
A Bible that he doesn't know about. Yeah. What's your favorite passage of the Bible? I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, well,
give me one that you like. It's personal. You don't fucking know any.
Yeah.
So we have this guy who is the biggest whore. He's, you know what? So for so many years, the rest of the world, and when Ray and I travel abroad at all, which it's not a lot, it's funny how the rest of the world sees us. They have always seen us, the ugly American, fat, ugly American, and these rednecks are like, I don't give a shit. You should give a shit, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a day they have so little respect for us and what we can do, and it's about power. They're not going to care anymore. Yeah. And when that happens, if you look at people say we're number one, we're not. Go look at us in education, look at us in infant mortality, look at us in healthcare. 32 out of 33 countries have universal healthcare. We don't. Yeah.
We need allies. We can't be an island.
But Trump's going to ruin that. I mean, if you look what just happened with Iran, China, Russia, North Korea, and then there's some weird countries like Paraguay, like like there was like all these badass villains, and then Paraguay or whatever. I forget what country it was, but it was some tiny country. They're like Moldavia, and like yeah, we're in too. Oh yeah, Moldavia. Hey, tone it down. Go get us coffee.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is if Trump's been dealing, and you guys look this up. This is why everything I know about this guy and what we've researched for the last 8 years is like he's been in on Russia since 1987.
Yeah.
He's been dealing with Russia since 87. He's known Putin for decades, and people don't know what's coming. And I think as we all feel this weird sense of like, holy shit, now what?
Well, the fact,
and now we just got to wait for now what?
Yeah,
that's what we're waiting for now. All right, guys. I want to say thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. And before we go any further, we're going to do a special segment called "What Are You Thankful For?" I am thankful for my lovely wife, Rachel. I am thankful that you guys keep watching this podcast. Our subscribers are going up all the time. It's nonstop. We did an Armageddon update a couple weeks ago that hit almost 300,000. And thank you for you being so good at it, man. You're like so good at editing and so good at putting it together, and you're funny. You guys don't even know how much funny he adds. I do my thing. I do my little map, and he's like, aha. And then he takes it to a whole new level. Dude, that thing you did where you slowed YMCA down, I laughed on. Yeah. So it's that was from Cloverfield, right? It was a clip.
Yes.
He used a clip from Cloverfield.
I combined a clip from Independence Day and with Cloverfield.
And so the head of the Statue of Liberty slides across camera, and it roars. And I was like, oh, that's perfectly so creepy. It was super creepy. And like the power was just, everything was out of control. It just had this weird chaotic thing. But thank you for being so good at it. And guys, thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. We have a bit of I think there's going to be a bit of a slog. Let's hope this. Let's hope that maybe at one point he's going to be 82 when he gets out of office now, right?
Yeah.
When he continues to stay in office.
If he lives till 82,
if he makes
he'll be 82.
Yeah. So let's hope that somewhere in that dark, broken soul of his, he's like, what do I need to do to be a good guy? I've got this shot. I fucked it up the first time. Let's hope that happens. I don't think it's going to, but it's possible.
I don't think sociopaths ever stop becoming sociopaths.
So are you saying that people that are psychotic and sociopaths don't have any self-reflection?
Yeah.
So you're saying Charles Manson never thought it was his fault?
No, he never came to the realization. You know what?
Ted Bundy was like, maybe I shouldn't have just killed all those people. Donald was like, I shouldn't be eating people. That never happened.
I should have put the blood on the wall.
Guys, next time we're here, Rachel will be back with us. I'd like to thank Michael Ian Black for being on the show. It was really good to have just a smart, insightful, critical thinker on the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you next week. See you. For myself, lovely bombshell Ray, who's not here, and the Highlander later.
There could be one.
Yeah.